Elon Musk is encouraging a hilarious parody ad mocking Kamala Harris to go viral on X after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law to eliminate deepfake and other AI-generated content in the lead-up to the election. The law was sparked by a series of parody videos created by AI and using deepfakes to mock Kamala Harris on social media.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. Do you think the country went to over the past 4 years?
The law signed by Newsom makes it illegal to create
Okay, that's good. Oh, man. Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Yeah, that video has been taken down off of the internet. That video is actually the spark that is igniting or has ignited Gavin Newsom to basically launch another meme war. But this is going to be an anti-free speech war, essentially. So, again, this is a playbook right out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. So, accuse your enemies of what you yourself are doing. They have accused Donald Trump of everything under the sun. They've accused him of being a pervert, of being a child thing. He's been accused of incest with his own family. He's been accused of being a Russian asset. He's been accused of basically everything under the sun. But none of it sticks because it's all nonsense. You know, I mean, we all know that it's all come out that Hillary Clinton paid for the Steele dossier. It was all made up. It was all nonsense. It was literally paid for propaganda in order to smear him. And again, so they think Trump is going to be a dictator. They think Trump is going to be this free speech monster. But I mean, Gavin Newsom is literally signing in anti-free speech laws into effect. I mean, they're going after memes. I mean, anybody who watches that Kamala Harris video knows it's ridiculous. The only thing that was uncut was like whenever she was saying the significance of time and the significance of passing of time. That was the only real part of that video. Everything else was like an AI-generated voice of her. Which, I mean, was really good. Like, it's a really good AI generation. But, I mean, we all know she wouldn't be saying those things in real life. But, yeah, that's launching this anti-free speech war that they're launching against memes. So, scary times we live in. Where, again, I mean, but this isn't even the first time they've come after people for memes. I mean, CNN doxed that guy that made that video of that dog jumping up and down the trampoline, you know, of Trump winning the White House. You remember that? They came after that guy.
Yeah, the whole guy, they went after the guy that did the Trump, body slamming CNN.
Yeah.
They just had a WWE wrestler was CNN, and then Trump comes out, body slams him or whatever. And that guy was docked. The media went after him hard.
Yeah. This is just the next logical step in a democratic socialist society. It's outlaw fun, outlaw memes. I mean, That was just a funny meme, and it is an accurate meme. As much as people be like, no, she's qualified for the job, it's like, not really. I mean, she didn't get a single vote from a single delegate in the 2020 run.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's just sad. It's a sad state of affairs that we're living in, and this is the truth. I mean, that meme that Chad has pulled up there tells you. And again, the people who are endorsing her for president speaks volumes about why you should not trust the Democratic Party right now.
Yeah, if you can see the meme that I have pulled up right now, it's Kamala Harris like holding or like standing right in front of three wolves or behind three wolves, and one says Iran, IRS, and Dick Cheney, and it says check out my endorsements. And then you got the sheep down below that say vote blue no matter who.
Vote blue no matter who.
Yeah.
But it's a sad state of affairs. You know, it's like, did Dick Cheney realize that Trump was the most evil man alive, considering everyone believed Dick Cheney was George Bush's puppet master? I mean, everyone believes that Dick Cheney is the guy that orchestrated the war, that orchestrated all the bad stuff that happened in the Middle East. Do you guys think that he changed his mind? He had to come to Jesus moment? Again, the Democrats don't really believe in Jesus either. Like, I mean, they're an a-religious party now. So either Dick Cheney had a come to Jesus moment where he goes, maybe I am the bad guy. Or the Democrats' current policy more aligned with what Dick Cheney wants to see the future look like. Either way, what does that say about you as someone who is voting for Kamala Harris? So it's just crazy. I mean, I remember all these movies. I mean, War Dogs. You remember War Dogs, Chad? I mean,
yeah, I do.
Friggin' Jonah Hill shooting that pistol off in the air. It's like, welcome to Dick Cheney's America.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the joke. That is the joke of our modern society. And that's what people think when they think of Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, the gun runner of America.
Yeah.
So, just a sad state of affairs. You know, it's like, and again, when Iran and the IRS, so not the IRS as the organization, but I mean like the IRS union. Remember, Biden created 87,000 more jobs in the IRS, and now the IRS is armed.
Yes, they are armed, and it is true. Like they hired, they're looking to hire 87,000 more IRS agents. Now, the media is saying Republicans are blowing this out of proportion, saying that's not true. But what is true is even CNN. I'll read this off of CNN. I'll pull it back. Let's see here. Here we go, right here. Oh my goodness, it keeps refreshing itself. All right, so the figures say that the 87 figure comes from the 2021 Treasury report that estimates the IRS will hire 86,852 full-time employees over the course of the next decade, so 10 years. Mm-hmm. So over 10 years, they're going to hire 87,000 people. And they're going to say, some people will be retiring and quitting and whatever else, but still, that's a lot.
That's a lot
years.
of funding.
That's a lot. And here's the funding right here, $80 billion that comes with it. So what are we doing? I mean, the math that we were doing this morning was they only say they're only really going to go after people who make over $400,000 a year. Well, we looked that up. Out of the population, only 1.8%, so we can round that up to 2% of the population makes over $400,000 a year. And then we did more math. So we had what's the current population as of last year's statistics, which was 330 million people in the United States. So that means that 600...
Those are legal, by the way.
Yes. And yeah, that's not counting all the new illegals that we just got. Like that's why I said the next census of 2024 is going to be huge because we added at least 7 to 10 million people with all the illegal immigrants that we took in. Mm-hmm. So getting back to it. So you take that number, that 330 million number, we divided that, we took 2% of that. That is 6.5 million or 6.6 million people that make over $400,000. That's not a lot. I mean, if you want to check my math again real quick, but that's 600.6 million people.
Yeah.
Just about. And they're hiring 87,000 people and giving them $80 billion to go look into that. That seems a little too many people to be looking after that much people's money. I mean, am I wrong?
That's because, well, no, and you're right. I mean, Tim Pool talked about this on his show too. It's like, that's because they're not going after the millionaires and billionaires. They're coming after you. They're not going to go into a billionaire's property armed to the teeth going, give us your, 10% of your income or your 37% or 47% of your income. They're going to go to your house. Whenever you get a bill from the IRS that says pay $2,000. Well, a millionaire or a billionaire will lose money in court just to spite the IRS. You don't have that luxury. So you either have two choices. You either just pay the bill or you attempt to dispute it. And when you attempt to dispute it as an average citizen, that's when they're going to send these schlubby IRS agents to your house with guns going, sir, you're under arrest for not paying your $2,000 in taxes we told you to pay, or your $500 in taxes we told you to pay. Whatever the minuscule amount of money in taxes that you will owe, they will come after you for.
But regardless, it's really being it's going to be weaponized against small businesses is really what it's going to be after, because you don't need 80,000 IRS agents and $80 billion to look into the few companies that actually make millions and billions of dollars. You don't need 80,000 and $80 billion to do that.
Mm-mm.
You don't. And so it's only going to be coming after normal Americans. I mean, Obama already weaponized the IRS against his opponents, against his political opponents when he was in office. That's all this is probably going to be with the Biden-Harris campaign. And two, Biden was the one that brought this in, that said that he would pass this and that he's wanting to do this. Well, why would the IRS endorse Kamala Harris? Because they're scratching her back now. They're going, your administration just hired us. We got your back. So they don't want to lose their jobs.
Well, I'm sure the IRS is headquartered probably in D.C. too. I mean, D.C., like I said, again, this is a D.C. They're trying to make D.C. a state of its own. It's like, well, what do you expect? 80% of people that live in D.C. are Democrats. They're going to, of course, support anything that's Democrat funded because that's where all their money and funding comes from, the Democratic Party.
Yep, it's 100%.
It's like they're only voting more money into their own pockets. Again, the IRS is a government-run agency. Why on earth do they need a union? They already have the union. The union is the government. So what purpose does the IRS union serve other than to exist to pay itself? I mean, that's all it is. Like, I mean, hey, IRS union workers, do you want more money? Well, give all of your money to us, and we'll just keep this thing running. It's like, well, I've talked to multiple people who work in unions who are like, I mean, I had friends who were in theater, and they were like, I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to join or not join the theater union. And I was like, why would you or why wouldn't you? And he goes, well, they give you, they fight for you to get more money, but all the money that you earn just goes to your union dues. So I don't really see, and like, this was like a young man my age, right, fresh out of college going, so I don't know what purpose it would serve me to like join the union other than to just be able to get union work. Because I don't see a dime of the extra money that they allegedly give me. So what's the point? And I'm like, yeah, what is the point? Like, if you want higher wages, but you never see a penny of those higher wages because they're going to your union dues, what the hell is the point?
Yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question because that's the thing. Unions only fight for people that are in their unions. And I mean, that's what we talked about with the whole like scab thing we were talking about the other day with like, I don't understand how unions can be pro-immigration.
Yeah.
Because that's all they're doing is because the point of a union is to keep the demand of the job high, to keep their paychecks high. So that way they try to keep other people out from that job opportunity.
Yeah, and I really, really don't understand, again, why any government organization needs a union. especially the IRS. Like,
Yeah. Imagine if the Army and the military unionized.
yeah, well, I mean, but what the heck? I mean, think about this. It's like, a union for government workers. I was always under the impression it was damn near impossible for a government worker to get fired.
It is. It isn't almost
So,
impossible.
what does the union do for them? Other than, I guess, maybe the union's the reason that they got this $80 billion thing coming their way to the IRS. Maybe that's the corporate greed from the union. Or
Questions.
union greed.
Yeah. Well, Democrats scratching the backs of their constituents or people that they know are going to be in their pocket.
I don't know. Either way, if the IRS, nobody likes the IRS. Like, the only thing the IRS has to, like, tout against the world, be like, well, we're the ones that brought down Capone. Okay, cool. What have you done since? And like I said, from what I understand, it was a very sketchy loophole that they used to bring down Capone. Like, grasping at straws, sketchy. So, the IRS really hasn't been useful since the takedown of Capone. So, what a sad world we live in, man, where the government corruption and union corruption are just hand in hand, and they're just paying each other payouts by the looks of it.
And then we can just get back to the fact that talking about her endorsement deals and stuff, like the Teamsters polls that we brought up the other day, all the Teamsters polls have shown that it's not looking good for her at all.
Yep.
I mean,
The working man wants Trump. Nobody else does.
I'll pull that stuff back up real quick here in just a second. So let me get that stuff pulled up and you can keep talking.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, the union working man wants Trump because they know that Trump's going to try to bring jobs back to the country, and like they know that Kamala is just going to keep offshoring it all. It doesn't matter. She spits. I mean, Democrats spit on the working man now. It's just a sad state of affairs. They used to be the party of the people. They're like, we're all about unions. We're all about making sure that Americans are getting their fair share. But yeah, it's just a sad state of affairs, man. Like, there is no winning anymore. But yeah, and here's the Teamsters polls from when they polled their...
Again, and here we have it. If it was still Biden, like I said, Biden had the union support. It was 44.3% on the straw polls, and then Trump had 36%. And then RFK at 5.6%, and then West at, I don't know who that is, but West at 1.7%. Cornel West, that's who that is. Yeah. Then it went to Harris and Trump, and it went to Harris 34%, Trump at pretty much 60%. I don't know why they didn't round that up, but it's 59.6, but 60%. And again, even if all the other people, even if the other candidates, all the people who polled the other candidates went in for Harris, still wouldn't win. And then we come over here, the phone research, same thing. It was even less. Harris 31%, Trump 58%, and then undecided or don't know. And again, even if all the undecideds and didn't knows go to Harris, she still wouldn't win. So I don't see how this is okay. I mean, even the fact how she became president, she was not elected. Again, like the thumbnail
she's
is very
not president. She's Madam Vice President, but she is the president.
Yes, she's the president. She's the presidential candidate right now. But that was my point. Was that wasn't done democratically? Like, this is why our thumbnail was so relevant. That's why I chose the thumbnail for today, because they're taking a dump on Democrats thinking we're a democracy. We're not a democracy. We're a democratic republic.
We're a constitutional
republic that democratically elects our government officials.
Yes.
That's what we are. And they just took away the democratic process of electing those officials away from their constituents.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how they're not seeing it's the same thing with the freedom of speech thing. What did Trump do to take away freedom of speech while he was in office? Like, everyone's like, Trump is gonna curtail free speech. The only thing that he did was call the enemy the enemy of the people and called them fake news.
Yeah,
he never called for their cancelization. He never called for any of them to be stop reporting, stop their news, cease and desist, anything like that. They were talking crap on him his entire campaign.
All he said was, "You are fake news."
Yeah, but they crapped on his entire presidency for his entire 4 years.
90% negative coverage his entire candidacy.
Yeah. And he still didn't try to curtail their free speech. And then here we have people making memes about Kamala Harris. That funny little video we showed at the very beginning. And what is Gavin Newsom and Hillary Clinton and a bunch of these other Democrats? We think it should be illegal to make these parody videos that use AI-generated stuff. You mean to tell me that you're going to take away making memes and making funny videos away from people? And it said, you heard what he said, just during the 60 days leading to the election, basically, and like 30 days after or whatever. That's ridiculous. That is someone literally, that's them crapping on free speech. That is what that is. And it's coming from the Democrats. It's not coming from the right. Where are the right-wingers saying, we need to stop this free speech? Right now, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they made sure the right might call for accountability from the left-wing media, being like, hey, you guys need to stop like with these lies and borderline slander. But again, you know, it's like they get away with it because there's a grain of truth, just a tiny little grain of truth in what they're saying. But then they'll take it totally out of context or, you know, run out of left field with it. Be like, well, but this is what our advisors or our analysts will come in and they think this is what it really means. This is what it really means. This is the dog whistle that only Trump supporters can hear. It's like, well, if this is a dog whistle only Trump supporters can hear, then how do your analysts hear it?
Exactly. That is a great question. That's why I always ask, I go, if this is a racist dog whistle that only racists can hear, understand, how are these people who are claiming to be these anti-racists understanding it?
Yeah. Unless you yourselves are racist. So we could talk about this all day, but it's just this is a travesty, and it's destroying discourse in this country, and it's destroying this country from within. But yeah, it's just a sad state of affairs, and you know this is what it's come to.
Yep.
You know, just keep lying.
And then, not to mention, all of her interviews that she's done have been absolutely god-awful. She never explains anything in her plans. She is, I mean, they say Trump lies all the
Opportunity
time.
economy.
Yeah, opportunity economy. And she lies more than anybody else. Like, the whole thing, like, where she said, like, she would shoot somebody on Oprah. She's like, if someone broke into my house, we're gun owners. I would shoot them. I'm just like, her staff has already said she would not actually shoot somebody. That is they retracted that statement and put it out on, like, Twitter or something and already retracted that. So, and she's not gun-friendly. And then I had this video here talking about, like, why the IRS endorsed her right here. This is her campaign now versus what she was saying. Like, you know, the same thing with the gun rights thing that we brought up is like her statements now versus her statements back when before she
2
was
days
running.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have this pulled up right here, and this is why the IRS has endorsed her.
On extending a tax cut, repealing that tax bill they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up.
Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
She was big on defund the police.
For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
She was the border czar. She doesn't want to be called the border czar because she's embarrassed by the border.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah, we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had. A horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad.
Bidenomics is working. It's working. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program. My agenda includes attempting to get Congress to act, but if they don't within the first 100 days of my administration, I'm going to take executive action. Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private health care options.
I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance.
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Good trailer. Good job, Trump Vance team putting that together. But yeah, we all know that she's full of it. She's just a political chameleon. She's going to change her opinions to be slightly more moderate so she can appeal to a bigger voter base. And then when she gets in, she's just going to go, nope, change my mind.
Yeah. That's really what it is. I swear to God, She's a political chameleon. She's just saying right now what she wants to say until she gets elected, and then the moment that she gets into office, boom, everything that all of our biggest fears will come true. So this is why you wonder why conservatives and Republicans have a problem with trusting Democratic politicians. This is why. This is why right here.
Yep. Anywho, that's about all we've got for you today. We just kind of wanted to go over this, but yeah, I'll end it with this today. Is how we'll end the show. It is a hysterical little video of of Kamala Harris. So we'll check this out, and then we'll catch you on the back end.
Do you want me to play it while we're watching it in the screen? Or do you want me to just play it out?
No, you can play it while we're watching it, and then we'll say Sarah bye-bye.
Look at my face! Oh my God, I love it! Oh my God, I love it!
That's bad. That's bad.
I know. I told you it was good. I told you it was good.
It's the shit.
I literally came across that right before the show started. Like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's we got to show that today." So that's about all I've got for you today, folks. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This is the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That's about all I've got for you. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.